What if I told you that flipping through TV channels could actually mean switching between entirely different versions of reality? Buckle up, because we're about to explore a world where this mind-bending possibility is our new normal. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a remote control that doesn't just change channels, but alters the very fabric of your reality. With each click, you're transporting to a different version of your life, a parallel universe where things played out differently. It's not just your personal life that's affected. You can surf through alternate histories, futures, and even fantastical realms that defy our current laws of physics. At first glance, this ability seems like a dream come true. Curious about how your life would have turned out if you'd taken that job in Tokyo? Click. Wonder what the world would look like if the dinosaurs never went extinct? Click. Want to experience a reality where humans have evolved gills and live underwater? Click. The possibilities are literally endless. But let's dive deeper into the implications of this reality surfing ability. One of the most immediate and obvious consequences would be a revolution in the entertainment industry. Traditional TV and movies would become obsolete overnight. Why watch a scripted show when you can experience countless real alternate realities? The concept of binge watching would take on a whole new meaning as people spend hours, even days, exploring different versions of reality. However, this leads us to a less obvious but potentially more significant effect: the psychological impact of seeing alternate versions of our lives. Imagine witnessing a reality where you made different choices and ended up significantly happier, more successful, or with a completely different family. How would this knowledge affect your mental health and satisfaction with your current reality? This brings us to an intriguing second-order effect, a fundamental shift in how we make decisions. With the ability to peek into the outcomes of different choices, would we become paralyzed by the weight of infinite possibilities? Or would we become more confident in our decisions, having seen the potential outcomes? The very nature of free will and determinism would be called into question. But here's where things get really interesting. What if, in the process of surfing through realities, we discover that our actions in one reality can have ripple effects in others? This could lead to the emergence of reality brokers, individuals or organizations that specialize in navigating and manipulating the complex web of interconnected realities. Take a moment to consider the ethical implications. If you could prevent a tragedy in another reality by making a small change in your own, would you do it? What if that change negatively impacted your life? The moral dilemmas would be unprecedented and could reshape our entire concept of ethics and responsibility. Now, let's explore a surprising second-order effect: the potential development of a universal language. As people interact with countless alternate realities, the need for a common means of communication across all these variations would become crucial. This could lead to the evolution of a new language that transcends individual realities, fundamentally changing how we communicate and think. But it's not all rosy in this multi-reality world. Consider the possibility of addiction to reality surfing. People might become so obsessed with exploring alternate lives that they neglect their primary reality. We might see the rise of reality rehab centers to help individuals reconnect with their original timeline. And here's a twist you might not have considered: the emergence of a new economy based on reality data. Imagine companies that specialize in collecting and selling information from different realities. Want to know the winning lottery numbers in 1,000 different realities? There's a company for that. Need to research how a particular business decision plays out across multiple timelines? There's a service for that too. But with great power comes great responsibility, and the ability to surf realities could have serious geopolitical implications. What if governments start using this technology for espionage or to gain strategic advantages? We could see the dawn of reality-based warfare, where conflicts are fought not just in our world, but across multiple versions of it. On a more personal level, how would this ability affect our sense of identity? If you can experience being countless versions of yourself, which one is the real you? The concept of a fixed personal identity might become obsolete, replaced by a more fluid understanding of self that spans multiple realities. Let's not forget the scientific implications. Physicists would have a field day studying the mechanics of reality surfing. It could lead to breakthroughs in our understanding of quantum mechanics, the multiverse theory, and the very nature of consciousness. We might discover that consciousness itself is the key to navigating between realities. But here's a mind-bending possibility. What if we discover that our reality is just one channel that someone else is surfing through? It could completely upend our understanding of free will and the nature of existence itself. As we surf through these possibilities, we must also consider the potential for unforeseen consequences. What if constant reality switching starts to destabilize the fabric of the multiverse? We might need to develop reality conservation practices to prevent the collapse of the entire system. On a lighter note, imagine the impact on pop culture. Reality crossover events could become the new trend, with people organizing parties where everyone brings elements from different realities they've visited. Fashion would explode with influences from countless alternate worlds. But let's circle back to a crucial question. How would this ability change our appreciation for our own reality? Will we become more grateful for what we have, seeing the infinite possibilities of what could have been? Or would we become eternally dissatisfied, always wondering if the grass is greener in another reality? As we wrap up our journey through this hypothetical multiverse, it's clear that the ability to channel surf through realities would fundamentally reshape every aspect of our existence. From our personal lives to our societal structures, from our understanding of science to our concept of morality, nothing would remain untouched. So the next time you pick up your TV remote, take a moment to appreciate the simplicity of just changing channels. Because in a world where each click could transport you to a different reality, the simple act of watching TV would never be the same again. And here's a final thought to keep you up at night. In an infinite multiverse of possibilities, who's to say this reality surfing scenario isn't already happening? Maybe, just maybe, you're already unknowingly surfing through realities. The question is, which channel are you on right now?